Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. I am in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Really awesome vehicle. It has quite a few features on this particular one, so let's go ahead and check it out. One of the things you'll notice from a distance is these really classy looking 18-inch alloy wheels. There's no cladding on these wheels, they're solid aluminum. You also have four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc brakes in the front and solid in the back. The name of this color is Brilliant Black Crystal Pearl Coat. And it looks absolutely amazing when the sun's shining directly on it. You can see, hopefully you can see little sparkles in it. So let's go ahead and check out the front. You have the chrome accents around the grille and there at the bottom and around the fog lights that really look awesome compared to the black finish. The headlights are surrounded by an LED accent daytime running light, and the headlights themselves are HID xenon bifunction, that means high and low beam, projector beam, which looks absolutely amazing. You have to check out my video at nighttime. Hopefully I'll be able to do a 16 soon, but I do have a 2015. And then you have a projector halogen powered fog light here at the bottom. So this is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key with the lock and unlock buttons there, power liftgate, and the remote start button. You also have a panic button, and there's a physical key on the inside that you can take out if you need it. But generally you can keep this key in your pocket and lock and unlock the doors and drive the vehicle without actually taking the key out of your pocket. So let's go ahead and remote start it. So you just double tap this button right here. It'll beep twice if you have the settings for that, and it'll start right up. Now if you want to turn it off, it'll actually run for 15 minutes and it'll turn off. You can do that 3 times max. But if you want to just turn it off, you can just double tap that and it'll turn off the vehicle. So I'm going to put the key in my pocket, and I'm going to walk up, and all I have to do is put my hand on the handle to unlock it. Right now you can see it's locked. So I put my hand here, unlocks the door. It just senses the key within a close proximity of the vehicle, and it senses my hand position. To relock the vehicle, all I have to do is push this button. So let's go ahead and take a look on the inside of the passenger door. You have this ebony wood grain across here, and a accent in chrome just below it, which looks really classy. And then you have the soft to the touch just about everywhere you can put your arm. You have the French white contrast stitching down here. And there's your lock and unlock buttons, power windows, little tiny place to put some change or something there. And you have a bottle holder and some storage pocket as well at the bottom. Here's your threshold with a alloy accent there in the center, which is looking cool. You have power seats here on the passenger side with a power lumbar support, and this adjusts the lumbar up and down, in and out, so you can get that really perfect spot. The seats are a leather seating with the contrast stitching in white and a French design, and they're perforated there in the center. You see, and they're heated and cooled, so really awesome features there. Very comfortable. Nice bolstering without being too intrusive on your body. And check out this legroom. And you can see that the mats snap in place, so that way they're not going to slide around on you. So let's go ahead and make sure the seat's all the way back so we can see the maximum amount of legroom here in the front. And it is absolutely crazy. You could probably be an NBA basketball player and sit in the front seat of this vehicle. Okay, so there's plenty of legroom. And here on the dash you have the ebony wood with the chrome accent as well, as similar to the door. And then you have a lockable glove compartment that's felt lined, and it is a very good size. It also has this little compartment here on the top to put your manual or something like that. You can see it has the privacy glass here on the back, which helps with the sun glare as well as people looking in, and it kind of gives you a nice reflection. So if you need to like fix your hair or whatever, that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a look here on the back. And you can see looking out is really easy with the privacy glass. And here's the inside of the back door. Similar styling as the front with the ebony wood, chrome accents, contrast stitching, soft to the touch, and you have a bottle holder here at the bottom. There's your threshold. So the net pockets in the back of the front seats are really handy. You also have a solid plastic on the back of the back seats that's kind of dished out to allow more room and for durability. And you can see you have plenty of leg room here in the back. You do have a slight hump there in the center for the center passenger's legs to kind of put there, but it's not too bad. So the back seats are heated and they're leather, perforated with the contrast stitching as well. You also have a cup holder armrest here in the center in case you don't have a center passenger, but you can always move that out of the way. So right in here you have 2 USB chargers, and then you have a 2-stage heated seat controls, as well as a 115 volt AC power adapter that goes up to 150 watts, which is super handy. Now these seats you can fold down, that way you can kind of utilize your cargo space if you need more of it. Okay, so it's a 60-40 split, so you can see that larger portion is still up, and I can also have this side down or that side or a combination, one side or the other, so that way I can have a combination of cargo and passengers. And once you fold the seats down, it gets pretty big, which we'll see in just a minute. Okay, so let's take a look here in the back. I really like chrome with black. It looks really awesome. So you can see you have that chrome accent across the back. You have parking sensors across the back here on the bumper. You have a single exhaust to let the 3.6 liter V6 breathe. You have the limited badging. You also have a backup camera lens right up under here. LED taillights. And you also have some regular light bulbs mixed in, so like your reverse lights and stuff, but there is some LEDs in there as well. So this is a power liftgate. Now I can use the key to open up the liftgate right here. I just double tap that button, it'll lift up, or keeping with the keeping the key in your pocket, you just walk up, push this little button under here, and just kind of step back, and it will go up all the way, like so. Alright, so here's your cargo area, and it is very usable and huge. Okay, so you can see it has this shade, which you can move out of the way. You can kind of move that back out of the way like so. And you have a massive cargo area back here. Subwoofer, part of the sound system, 9-speaker sound system. You also have a 12-volt power supply there. And then you have these little grocery bag hangers and net hook, cargo hooks there and there. Now your car seat anchor is under here. So you want to make sure you don't get that mixed up. So you see that little car seat anchor there? That's the anchor. This right here is for cargo only. On this side you have some more hangers and stuff. You also have an LED flashlight that is chargeable, you know, so it's in there charging while you're driving around. And then when you need a flashlight, it's right there. So that's pretty cool. You have a little storage pocket as well right here. Just kind of throw your umbrella or whatever in there. Okay, so you also notice it has these little metal ramps, so when you're sliding something in the back of the vehicle, it doesn't get caught on the carpet. It keeps it easy to get in and out. You also have these metal places here to kind of help with that as well. But check it out, you even have more space. So this lifts up. This is where you'll find your full-size spare tire as well as tools. You also have a little funnel there, which I'll explain in a few minutes. But check it out. You have these little bins that are removable, and you can dump them, and you can utilize those for additional cargo space, and they're really easily cleaned out and put back in. Of course, you can put some stuff around the outside of the tire if you really need to. So to lower the lift gate, you can use the key, like I said before, or you could just push this button. It kind of beeps at you. You move out of the way, it comes down. Now if something's in the way, it'll stop. Just a little bit of pressure, it'll stop and go back up. Okay, so that's a good safety feature. It's not going to crush a grocery shopping cart or whatever. But you do have to watch out for, you know, children's fingers or whatever being right there, because it does kind of slant, kind of slams slightly there at the last second. Fuel door is lockable and it's on the driver's side, which is super convenient. And I mentioned that funnel in the back. That is used only when you use a gas can. Otherwise, it's a capless design. You just put the nozzle in there. It's not going to do anything now, but you put the nozzle in there, pump your gas. You don't have to worry about a cap. You have this little rubber seal around the outside. Plus, this is a two-stage place, so you don't have to worry about trash getting in the actual gas tank. To start the vehicle without the remote start, you just have the key inside in your pocket or whatever, and you just put your foot on the brake and push this button. So here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mat locks in place, and I really like the way they have the Jeep name in there as well. And of course, I recommend upgrading these mats to like all season, all weather mats that are rubber. They really fit in here perfect. They snap in place and they just last forever. Okay, so there's your accelerator and brake pedal. You also have a place for your left foot just in here, and you have a foot actuated parking brake here. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. So to open up the hood, just a little bit to the right of center, there's a little latch just under this P right here, and you move it to the left and you lift the hood up just ever so slightly, and it'll go up the rest of the way by itself. Okay, so there is an engine in here. Actually, you can see it under here, but most of it's covered up with plastic here. But it's a 3.6 liter 295 horsepower V6 with 265 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to the awesome 8-speed transmission. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to take one for a test drive to experience the transmission. It's absolutely phenomenal in every way. On both side mirrors is a little triangle, and that little triangle will illuminate when there's somebody in your blind spot. So this vehicle has the blind spot detector system, and the sensor is right in here somewhere, and it will detect when the vehicle's in your blind spot, and it'll illuminate that. Now, if you turn your turn signal on while somebody's in your blind spot, it's going to give you an audible alert. This is also a cross path detection. So like, say if you're parked perpendicular, like this vehicle over here, this truck, and sometimes it's hard to see around the other vehicles when you're backing out. So the cross path detection system will let you know if there's a vehicle coming from either side as you're backing out. So that helps you with your backup camera and all the other ways of backing up the vehicle. Okay, let's take a look on the inside of the driver's side door. So you can see you have pretty much the same thing as the other side. You have the bottle holder there at the bottom. Now you have the presets for your power seat here on the driver's side. Same contrast stitching, soft to the touch, door lock controls, power window controls, side mirror controls here. Now the power windows, let's go ahead and they're automatic, one touch up and down. Now they are acoustic glass. So right in here, hopefully you can see, it has 2 panes of glass laminated with an acoustic material on the inside to keep outside noises from making its way inside the vehicle. So that really helps out with sound deadening. And they go up and down fairly quick, so that's good. There's your threshold, power seat. Now these power seats will go up, down, back, forward. They're like dental chairs, so you can get the exact position that you want. Same thing with the lumbar support. You can really get that, you know, that support up, higher, lower, you know, more or less, that kind of thing. So right in here is your headlight controls. You have an automatic, off, parking light, and headlight. And to turn on and off your fog lights, you just push right here. There's your dimmer switch for your interior gauges, and we already saw where your lockable fuel door is. Now the steering column, really epic. You have a tilt and telescoping steering column, electrically controlled. And I'm going to show you what this button on the back of the steering wheel does in a few minutes, so keep that in mind. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the inside. really comfortable seats, and the whole vehicle is amazing. But I actually have the seat all the way back right now just to kind of show you that I can put my feet straight out, and I'm 6 feet tall, pretty big guy, and it's just amazing how much room this vehicle has. So I have plenty of leg room, knee room, all that stuff. So let's go ahead and start here on the steering wheel. It's a leather wrapped, heated, super comfortable, and a little bit cushy steering wheel, so that way it kind of doesn't dig into your hands while you're driving. Stitched there, white stitching just like the rest of the vehicle. That looks awesome. Okay, so there's quite a few buttons here on the steering wheel, front and back. So you have your cruise control on this side. You can turn it on and off. Set it by going one of these, and then you can go faster or slower. Resume and cancel there. Now on the back of the steering wheel, I showed you some buttons there on the back of the steering wheel. On both sides, right here, you have an up and down and a center button. That is your volume on your right side. So I can adjust the volume on the radio, up and down. And then the center button will cycle through your AM, FM, and satellite radio, that kind of stuff. Right above it is a paddle shifter, so you can cycle through one of the 8 gear ratios as you're driving if you need to do that. So you have a negative and positive there, so up and down. And on the back of the steering wheel, the up and down and center buttons here will cycle through radio stations, so I can go up and down, or I can push the center button and it'll cycle through presets. And you see the presets there at the top. So that's pretty handy. Okay, so you have some more buttons here. This is your voice recognition button, and you can say all kinds of commands. You can go to specific addresses on the navigation. You can call people. You can all kinds of go to different radio stations using your voice recognition, and it'll actually come with a little manual kind of getting you started with that, because it really helps out. It's a really good safety feature. You keep your hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, and you're staying productive, which is awesome. So you answer calls there, hang up there. Okay, so once you pair your Bluetooth phone with the system, so these buttons here correspond with a screen here in the center of the gauges, which we'll get to in just a second. So your turn signal and windshield wiper controls are right here. Okay, so your RPMs are here on the left, and I like the way it's really sleek looking gauges. You can see it's all black on the background, and then you just have these floating gauges there suspended in the blackness, which looks really cool to me. Okay, so you have your RPMs here on the left. Here on the right is your engine coolant temperature and your fuel. So your gas gauge there. Now you can see it has a little fuel pump there with the arrow pointing to the left, showing you which side your fuel door is on. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so right here in the center is a screen, and it gives you some information. This is customizable, of course. You have a digital compass showing you which way your vehicle is facing. You have the outside temperature there on the right, and your odometer in the bottom center. So you can see it has a big digital speedometer there in the center right now. Now this is customizable, like I said. You can get different information. You can change the things on the corners there, but you'll notice here on the left some icons. Now as I scroll through these buttons here, so you have up and down, you have a selection, up and down, left and right. So I'm going to just kind of push to the right to show you something. When I push to the right, it changes the digital speedometer to a more analog looking speedometer. You see that? Isn't that neat? So I can cycle, have that or that, whichever one I want. So you can see at the very bottom you have those little round circles showing you that there's 2 different selections on this particular screen. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down, and you can see it goes to the next icon here. So this is your vehicle info screen. So right now it's showing you the oil temperature, but I can scroll to the right so you can see these little circles at the bottom showing me there's more selections: oil pressure, oil life, battery voltage, tire pressure, transmission temperature, and it goes back to the oil temperature. So you get the idea, up and down, and then you can see you have different selections there. Scrolling down again, this shows your average miles per gallon. You also have a real-time little gauge right there, and then you have a range, how many miles you can drive before you get gas. And you have 2 of them, 2 options there. All right, so we can scroll down again. This is like a little trip, and you have 2 options here as well. You have how many miles you've driven, average miles per gallon, and your time. So that's pretty cool. So we can go there and there. Scroll it down again. Now this vehicle has a start-stop feature. So basically, which you can turn on and off, but basically it'll save gas by when you come to a stop light or a stop sign or whatever, and you're sitting there for just, more than a few seconds, it is actually going to turn the engine off, and you're just going to sit there with your foot on the brake. The second you lift your foot off the brake, it's going to start the engine back up, and you can go. So you don't really even notice. It's not going to delay you at all. So it's really interesting, and it depends on the the climate control you have and different things like that, but it kind of does its own thing. So don't be alarmed if you test drive the vehicle and it turns off while you're sitting at a stop sign, as some people have been. Okay, so scroll down again. This is what your radio is doing. Stored messages will show up right here, like say, time to change the oil or whatever. And screen setup, all kinds of different things. This is where you can change the things on the corner and adjust it the way you want, the different display. All right, let's get out of that, and then it scrolls back down to the speed. So, and of course you can choose those. So that's kind of a rundown of the basics on the screen. You don't have to go in there and look at everything if you don't want to. It's just there in case you need it or want to look at it. Okay, so over here is your center stack with your 8.4-inch touchscreen, which a lot of people say this is one of the best on the market as far as usability and ease of access. Okay, so right now you can see we're in a radio screen. You can see these icons here across the bottom showing you which screen you're in and quick access. Okay, so on the radio screen is right here. Now right at the very top you have your interior temperatures there that you have your climate control set, and you have a clock, compass, outside temperature, and what radio station you're in. So that's going to kind of stay there. But right here is your radio screen. You have AM, FM, satellite radio. You have the presets there at the top, and of course you can adjust your audio. You have an equalizer, speed adjusted volume, surround sound, all kinds of cool stuff there. Let's go to the next icon, which is your media. So there's lots of other ways of playing music through the sound system besides just the radio. You have a USB, auxiliary input, Bluetooth audio, and an SD card input. So those are other ways of playing through the sound system, music or whatever. All right, let's go to these controls. You have the heated seat controls, ventilated seat controls, heated steering wheel, and there's the passenger there. This is where you can find all kinds of different settings. You can adjust whether you want the car to beep when you lock the doors, that kind of stuff. You can pair phones. Let's go back out of that. Apps, tons of apps. You can see it's similar to a cell phone in which you can play music through Pandora and different things like that. You also have Travel Link, which is absolutely amazing. You can get fuel prices that you can sort by brand, distance, or price. Movie listings, you can check out the weather. All kinds of cool stuff. Alright, let's get out of that. Wi-Fi hotspot, you can set up the vehicle as a Wi-Fi hotspot. But there's tons of stuff in there, as you can see. Climate control, you can adjust that on the screen or down here. But on the screen you have your temperature you can set, like so. You have AC, recirculate the air, front and rear defrosters, fan speed. Now you can sync them or you can unsync them so they can have independent temperatures for the driver and passenger. And then where you want the air to blow is there in the center, and then there's a little quick access place to get back to your heated seat controls and steering wheel. Navigation screen, you can put in a specific address. You can save your home address. You can have recent locations, favorites, things like that, or you can just view the map, get your bearings. I'm kind of zoom out. We're in Whiteville, North Carolina at Vann Underwood Chrysler, and you can see we're right in downtown area. And you can see some highways up in here. This goes to Wilmington, North Carolina. That goes all the way up to Charlotte. This goes down to Myrtle Beach. Kind of get your bearings there. Okay, so let's go to the phone menu, phone screen. And I don't have a cell phone paired now, but not only can you play music through the Bluetooth phone, but you can also call people, and you can have favorites there at the top. You have some caller ID there. You can call, end calls, recent calls, phone book. You have a little dial screen. You can also transfer the phone back to your cell phone, so that way if you want to have a private conversation, you can do that as well. So that's kind of a rundown of that screen. Lots of information in the screen. You can quickly access it there at the bottom with the icons that stay put. You don't have to hunt for them, they're always there. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so you have a traditional volume knob tuned through the stations. You can always turn the screen off if it's just distracting you. You just push the off screen. You can always push the screen like that, comes back on. There's the back button, some screens you can go back out of. 4-way flashers are here. Climate control, you have your air conditioning, temperatures, fan speed, front and rear defrosters there. So it's kind of redundant, so you don't actually have to go onto the screen all the time. You can quickly access the climate controls right there. Parking sensors, you can turn those on and off in case they're beeping at you and you're just kind of driving you nuts. You can turn them off. That's the stop-start feature I mentioned before. You can turn that feature off. Eco, you can turn that off, and it has a sport mode. So when you put it on sport mode, it's going to emphasize the performance over fuel economy, so that way you can really get to work fast in case you're running late. And then your traction control, in case you get stuck in the mud or snow, you can spin tires and get out by turning off the traction control. Okay, so there's this little compartment here, and check it out. Not only can you put some stuff here at the bottom, but you also find your auxiliary USB and SD card inputs, as well as a 12-volt power supply. And now you notice the 12-volt power supply has a little key there, and that's letting you know that that one will turn on and off with the ignition switch. So it doesn't stay on all the time. Now you notice you have to see this vehicle at night. I have a night video. I'm going to have to do a new one that's better quality, but absolutely amazing these vehicles look like at night. Okay, so there's your cup holders, and speaking at night, it has this little illumination around here that looks neat. Okay, so there's your cup holders, and here's your shifter. Now the 2016 model has a new shifter. It's more traditional. I like it a lot better, and I'm sure a lot of people do. It has this little boot there, which is looking good. It's very comfortable, and it's really traditional. You just kind of slide it like a normal one. So you can move it back right here. There's reverse, so we can check out the backup camera, and you can see those guidelines, the shadow. You can see from the bumper to the sky. When I turn the steering wheel, the guidelines will turn to let me know which direction I'm going. And when you put it in reverse, the parking sensors will also turn on. You can see this kind of showing you that they're active now. Now, if there's something back there, it's going to kind of beep and also kind of illuminate the spot in which the place where the thing is. So that way you can kind of get an idea of what's going on back there. Okay, so let's scroll down here to neutral. Drive. This is your normal drive position. It's going to cycle through all the 8 gear ratios. Another interesting thing about the 8-speed transmission, it can skip gears, so it doesn't have to cycle through all 8 gears. It can find the right gear ratio and go to it immediately. Now, if you want to cycle through the gear ratios manually, you can do so with the paddle shifters, and you can do it with this little space here, so you can kind of bump it like a ratchet shifter and cycle through the gears. And you'll know what gear you're in because it'll show right here. So normally it'd be in drive, but when I put it in manual mode, it'll be right there, and it'll kind of go up. Now it's not going to let me get out of second gear just sitting here, but that's where you'll see where your gear is. And at any time, you can quickly go back into drive, and it'll take over for you as far as changing gears. Okay, here's a little storage pocket. It's a really good place to put the key. It's felt lined, and you have this little divider here, a shallow part and then a deeper part here. So here's your center armrest. It has a stitching right here, and it's very comfortable, soft, and it's wide enough to where you can share it with the passenger without fighting over it too much. Okay, so under here it has 2 buttons. One's a smaller one and one is a larger one. The smaller one opens up a smaller compartment. So you can see it's felt lined, small place, has a little place to put wires in and out of this place if you need to put a device in there. And then the larger button opens up the larger compartment, and you can see it has the wires going in and out of this compartment as well. Okay, so this is all felt lined, and you have a little illumination in there at nighttime, and it's pretty good size. Hopefully you can see down in there. Now you notice, hopefully, that there you can see what it actually tells you up here as well. It has a 12-volt power supply in there, but this one has the battery, so this one's hooked up directly to the battery. You do not have to have the vehicle on in order to use that power supply, and so that way you can charge your phone or something while you're in the store or whatever. Okay, so let's look up here at the rear view mirror. Now it's an auto dim rear view mirror, and it's actually auto dimming right now because I have this shade over this light sensor. But and also your side mirrors are auto dimming as well, so you can see that one and that one are also auto dimming. Okay, so you have some buttons here. You have the roadside assistance button. Literally, you can push that if you still have the roadside assistance. It's like change your tire or run out of gas, jump start, that kind of stuff. And then you have the 911 button. This will literally connect you to a 911 operator. This vehicle has a cellular connection even without your phone. So you can push that button, talk to a 911 operator, and get help immediately. Now once you push that button, it's going to give you a few, like 10 seconds or whatever, to cancel it just in case you accidentally push it. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, there's a place up here to put your shades, and it's kind of like it has this foam in here to protect them. You have these tap lights there and there, so you can have a quick access light. Now this is a floodlight, and then this button is more of a spotlight depending on your needs, so that's pretty cool. You have the button there to open up your power liftgate, and these are your home link garage door openers, so you can pair those with your garage door opener. But check it out, you have this and this. These are for your panoramic, huge panoramic sunroof. So this is for your shade, this is for the actual glass. So let's check it out. Okay, hopefully you can see the size of this sunroof. It goes all the way from the front there, all the way to the back. Okay, so let's go ahead and open it up. When I first push the shade button, it's gonna open up to there, okay? I gotta push it again to go all the way back. That way, hopefully you can see, kind of aiming the camera down so you can see, hopefully, that this portion back here is fixed, and then this portion is the one that moves. So let's go ahead and vent it up so we can get a little bit of airflow, or we can open it up all the way. That's as far back as it goes, which is pretty good size. You have this little net right here to help with the airflow. Close it up, and when we can push the shade button one time to close it. You don't have to push it twice to close it all the way. And the shade blocks 100% of the light, so that way if you don't want any light on you at all, you can close it up. Okay, so here's your visor with mirrors and lights. They also extend out, just in case you need to get that right spot, because you know how the sun is, always trying to get in your eyeball while you're driving. Okay, let's take a look at the visibility back here. So not only do you have blind spot monitoring, you have cross path detection, backup cameras, parking sensors, all kinds of technology, but you also have a pretty decent view back here. A little bit of a blind spot there, but not bad at all. You have the side glass there, and then the big glass there in the back, and the headrests are not getting in the way. The headrests are just right there in, you know, in the CD pillar, so they're kind of out of the way. All right, there you have it. It's a 2016, and let me know what you think. It's a 2016 Grand Cherokee Limited, and let me know in the comments what you think of this vehicle. I'd really appreciate it. And before we go, let's just take a quick peek at the window sticker here, so you can pause the video and kind of read it if you want to. And you'll notice this one has the customer preferred package 23H, and you can see these are the items listed under there. So you have an item, a price, and everything that's listed below that is part of that package. And then the next time you see a price, this is another option there. So that's kind of how the Chrysler window stickers work. Yeah, this functional safety features there, interior features, exterior features that extend on this side, and then you have the options on this side. And I'm going to list all this stuff in the description of the video as well, so that way if you want to search something or whatever, it'll all be right there. Okay, so thank you for watching, and thank you to Vann Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Whiteville, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off an awesome vehicle. I really like this, and I'll see you guys next time.